partner up with this fella. That I can work with.
Well,
That's gold.
That wasn't on the pre-approved list of jokes the guy liked, but it worked.
When's the show over?
Yeah.
That's money. That's perfect.
That's gold. And I go, I'm with you, buddy. I want it to end too. I'm dying up here. And that's kind of getting something. So then I'm like, give me
it's working.
give me a news story. And one guy goes, because they're all really one guy goes, interest rates. And I go, are you fucking nuts? What the hell am I supposed to do with interest rates? I don't know what interest. I'm a person of interest. I'm not interested. I got nothing here. So I'm like, shut up, Bud Light or Spy Balloon or Biden, something.
Yeah.
Nothing. The guy is furious. He's steaming, and he's not only mad, but he's embarrassed because he's like, you're fucking me in front of my friends.
I know this feeling. I get it.
Yeah.
So you're like, you gotta see a live baseball game, and then you go, and it's like nothing, and the eighth, and you're like, I'm sorry.
Well, this was rained out, and Jose Canseco got fucked in the ass on center field because this was beyond a bad game. This was wild, and
BBG.
So I just go, well, this was terrible, and I panic, and I go, you don't have to pay me if you don't want to, and that got a huge laugh, and so now I'm like, shit, am I gonna get paid? But either way, I go, okay, you're supposed to end like a big laugh, and I don't know if that's gonna happen. And I pulled out every stock line, every hack joke, everything. Nothing was working.
Impervious. Well, once you're bombing, you're bombing.
That's what it is. 50 chairs. Come on, you pussy. They're all like noodling each other. Soto. Most famous Italian restaurant in the place. It's $1 million meal. I get there. The walls are just lined with Brad Pitt, Beyonce, Sting, all these giant celebrities. It's the spot.
Wow. Juan Soto.
So the show's at 9. He goes, we're eating dinner at 7. Come if you want. The guy was super cool. And I go, oh, wow. I'm texting with the main guy. And he's like, I'm a fan. Let me know when you're coming up. So I walk up. I say, I'll be there at 7:45 because I'm trying to get to the end of dinner.
Yeah.
Like, I'll give you some hang time, but I don't want to sit there with the whole crew.
Sure.
You know how it goes. So I show up. He's waiting outside for me. Nice guy, normal guy, T-shirt and jeans. I was like, oh, great. Because you always feel bad. Like, should I dress up? So whatever. So he's cool. He goes, come on in. I got you a seat over here. You don't have to talk to everybody. I was like, he gets it. This guy's great. He's like, I'll get you all the food. I know you like to eat. I'll bring you food as it comes out.
I know you like to eat.
I know you love free food. I was like, you know me. He's like, I'm a big fan. I listen to all your pods. Oh, you might hear this. Oh, I'll keep it cool.
You're saying good things.
Okay, well, it's going to turn.
The nice. Oh, okay.
So, one of these, you forget these fancy, snazzy restaurants where everything's $1 zillion. The female staff is like bananas. They're all 11s. Yeah, they're all these hot Italian. It's like the coffee shop scene. Like, do you notice something similar with all these waitresses?
They're my daughters.
Yeah. Well, these weren't daughters. There was a black one, a blue one, a brown one, and a white one.
Wow. Don't call me daughter.
Yeah. And it was, you're distracted because you're trying not to stare, but you're eating and whatever. They're all so nice and whatever. So he comes up, he's like, I love this bit of yours, I love that bit of yours. And I'm like, I am going to kill this. This guy is a huge fan. He's like rattling off bits. He's like, I listen to all your pods. I'm so happy you came, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, man.
I'm getting nervous.
I'm picking out. I got leg of lamb. I got penne. I got chicken parma. He's putting tiramisu up my ass and all this. So, mind you, I booked all this shit at the Comedy Bar around this corporate, So the corporate, I go on at 9, 45-minute set. I'll be done by 9:45. Comedy Bar show starts at 10, but I got to host and an opener. So I can probably get there at about...
You booked a headlining show the same night as the corporate?
I wasn't thinking, because usually a corporate's at 7, maybe 8.
Right.
This is at 9. So I was like, I'll do a 10 o'clock show. I'd probably get there at 10:30 and be good.
Okay.
Which...
Because sometimes you just don't think.
I don't think. So,
oh, my God.
Geez. So the guy goes, all right, we're all upstairs eating. We're going to finish eating, bring everybody downstairs, and we're going to set up the room with chairs and a microphone and a speaker, and then you'll come up to 45. I'll bring you right up. And I go, you got it. And just to be professional, I'm looking at my notes. I'm listening to old sets. I'm looking at like a Fallon set or a Conan set, just try to get it all memorized. The jokes he likes, they're old. So we go up there. Nobody wants to sit up front. It's a whole thing. Come on, guys. Here we go. There's about 50 chairs.
That's fresh.
Come on,
Holy
you pussy.
smokes.
They're all like noodling each other and headlocking. These are real bros.
Right.
And there's a bar in the back, and it's actually a pretty good setup. Low ceiling, little Italian restaurant, tight chairs. I was
Okay.
like, this is going to kill. He goes up, and he goes, hey, and they go, hey, pussy bitch. Fucking with him, whatever you do. and they're yelling at him, and it's all fun and games. And I'm like, these guys are lively. They're a good bunch of gags. They're all hanging out. And he goes up, and he says some dumb thing like, we're going to have a hot show. Bob, don't say anything. We know you got Tourette's. And they're like, ah, they're going nuts. And I'm like, man, this crowd is juiced up. They've been drinking. They're ready to go.
I can't wait.
And I go, just to make sure before the show, I go, no language restrictions. I mean, I'll hold back. I can go clean, whatever you need. He goes, all I want you to do is be yourself and do some crowd work at the end. Like,
Okay.
that thing on Instagram where you get
Those are
suggestions
two
from the crowd. Do that.
likes.
I
Okay.
love that. I was like, oh, all right, this guy is easy peasy. So, of course, he goes up and every single time they do we got Mark Norman here. He's been on this. He's been on that. I'm a big fan. My kids love him. I love him. We watch him on YouTube, blah, blah, blah. Mark Norman. The double name.
Right.
Every
At least
single
it's a double
time.
name, because many just do the name at the beginning and then
That's
never
true.
again.
That's true. They go, here he is, or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'd been kind of canoodling with a few of them, just meeting people, shaking hands. So I go up, and I'm so confident. And, of course, I get up, and it goes, the feedback.
The
right
Sonic
away.
Youth.
Right away. Didn't do it with him, by the way. Did it
Right.
with me. I guess I got too close to the one Fisher-Price speaker up in the corner.
Well, he's a pro.
Yeah,
This guy
apparently.
knows what he's doing
He
on
killed.
stage.
So I go up and I'm like, and now it's 8 minutes of me going like, is this better? Hold on, is that all right? And one guy's like, cut left, move back, push the thing.
I know. Everyone's an AV expert
Yes.
as soon as you get up there.
And then there's the one guy, he's got a blazer on and it's purple. So I go, give it up for the Joker. Murders! It's the dumbest line I've ever said. Murders.
Ouch.
And he's up there with the speaker going, Joker, and I was like, I hope you die. Ha ha, Heath Ledger, it's killing. All this bullshit. And he's kind of fixing the thing, and I go, forget it, it's not going to work. So now the cord is hooked up to the one speaker. That whole job?
Yeah. Where if you pull the microphone, the whole fucking tower
Exactly.
comes down.
Exactly. So I'm taut. Whoop! I got a tightrope from the speaker to my hand. Just
Isn't this Soto? I thought this was Soto.
Well, it's Soto, but they don't do live performances.
They couldn't have done a long flat noodle.
Well, that's what I said. The whole time I'm like, you guys are all millionaires. This restaurant costs $9 billion to rent. You couldn't get a fucking Sony or whatever? Like,
Oh my goodness.
what are we doing here? And they only check it right then. They never go, we're gonna see if the mic works.
Right.
It's a lot of this. Anything? What do you think, Jeff? Is this working? Can you hear
Right.
me back there? So they get to see all that. So that's embarrassing. So finally, about 8 minutes
this
in,
is painful.
I'm like, all right, I'm going into material. Here we go. This guy loves my stuff. And here's the worst part. He does his thing, brings me up, and sits in the front row directly in front of me like this. Like, here we go, baby.
They always do that.
Yes!
Go to the back. I don't want anyone I've ever met in my life within 300 yards of me.
Exactly. And you're hiring me. You're paying me a lot of money, by the way, to do this corporate gig. I got to just let you down? But in his mind, he's like, I've seen you kill. Do it. He's like, do the thing you do. And they don't realize it's not just that. It's like, well, the audience sucks. They're not laughing. So I'd go, any joke you had to like set up and kind of present to them, they were out. If you go like, so my roommate, they're like, roommate, what? But if I go, hey, Jeff's a homo, they're like, now we're talking.
Well, that's the thing is they get used to that. So
Yes.
That's what they want. They're like, I don't want an observation. I want you to call Jeff a homo.
Right. You go,
Jeff's a homo.
Yeah, you're like, so Uber's weird. And they're like, what? There's no Uber here. What are you talking about?
Right.
They can't put themselves in an Uber. They couldn't sit and listen long enough. And, I mean, I was bombing hard, like drops of sweat, lower back, chapped lip, dry mouth. And then what? Dogs are weird because they shake off the fur and dander. And you start forgetting bits.
Well,
And
you forget bits.
I forget everything. I got the Zymer.
Forget about it.
And never forget. So the guys in the front going, why aren't you doing the funny stuff? Why aren't you doing the laugh?
brutal.
And I could see on his face like, what are you doing, man? You're blowing it. Like I'm not doing stand up. I'm doing stand up, but it's all dying. And then he goes, oh, he's like giving me this shit. Like, and I go, all right. So I do one of the bits that he likes.
Okay.
And that bombed. And I know that's not good, but it gave me hope. Like, you see? You see, this is not me now.
Right.
But he's still like, why are you doing it?
It's always them.
Well,
it's the crowd. It's the situation. It's not if the jokes work, the jokes work.
I know, but I get it from both sides because I get that you have to set up a crowd and present it and riff a little and then slide into material. There are some professional moves here, but I think the fact that he said, I love your stuff, just do this joke, do that joke, I thought I could coast. So I kept trying more jokes. I should have just been like, abort. Hey, buddy, you call that a wife? You know, I should have just gone into that. But I couldn't because I was getting screwed up because I was like, all right, I'll do this joke. All right, that didn't work.
Well,
I'll
it's
do
working.
this joke. That didn't work. I'll do, and they just didn't care, and it fell flat. And so now one guy goes, "You're doing great," which totally crushes you because you're already dying. You're already alone up there. You're already outnumbered, and so not only am I bombing, but they're aware I'm bombing, and they're commenting on it, and kind of being mean. But whatever. People are leaving. They're trickling out. You know, you see the staff in the back of the bar like, oof, poor bastard. It's basically like you feels like you're just taking a beating. Like, you ever got into a fight at school where your friend's getting beat up, and you feel like you have to jump in, but you know if you do, his friend will jump in. You're like, I kind of just got to take a beating here.
Right.
That's what it felt like. Like, I'll just take this. And
how long did you have to do?
I did 45, but I ended up doing like 58 because I was trying to get them.
Yeah.
And it was so bad, and they could see the sweat, and I'm doing a lot of this. And eventually I go, all right. Give me a topic to talk about. Give me something to talk about, you know, because this guy wanted the ending to be the whole Q&A thing.
Like Bonnie Raitt. Let's give them something to talk about.
Oh, yeah. Bonnie Raitt would have gotten more laughs. So I go, give me a topic. And one guy goes, when's the show over? And I go,
let's go.
I know, it's a funny
now we're
line.
talking.
I know.
That's funny.
That got like a half laugh and half like, ooh,
Does
shit.
he have a podcast? Because I can partner up with this fella. That I can work with.
Well,
that's gold.
That wasn't on the pre-approved list of jokes the guy liked, but it worked.
When's the show over?
Yeah.
That's money. That's perfect.
That's gold. And I go, I'm with you, buddy. I want it to end too. I'm dying up here. And that's kind of getting something. So then I'm like, give me something. Give me a news story. And one guy goes, because they're all real estate guys. One guy goes, interest rates. And I go, are you fucking nuts? What the hell am I supposed to do with interest rates? I don't know what interest. I'm a person of interest. I'm not interested. I got nothing here. So I'm like, shut up, Bud Light or Spy Balloon or Biden, something.
Yeah.
Nothing. The guy is furious. He's steaming, and he's not only mad, but he's embarrassed because he's like, you're fucking me in front of my friends.
I know this feeling. I get it.
Yeah.
You're like, you gotta see a live baseball game, and then you go, and it's like nothing, and the eighth, and you're like, I'm sorry.
Well, this was rained out, and Jose Canseco got fucked in the ass on center field because this was beyond a bad game. This was wild, and
BBG.
So I just go, well, this was terrible, and I panic, and I go, you don't have to pay me if you don't want to, and that got a huge laugh. And so now I'm like, shit, am I going to get paid? But either way, I go, okay. You're supposed to end like a big laugh, and I don't know if that's going to happen. And I pulled out every stock line, every hack joke, everything. Nothing was working.
Impervious. Well, once you're bombing, you're bombing.
That's what it is. You're in that hole, and you pull out a fucking Richard Pryor joke, and they're like, you're done.
No, I mean, I just had this in Orlando. Same thing. I'm just visualizing all. Yeah, I told you.
Shit, the Zymer.
I'm just visualizing all the same stuff I had. It's horrible, and the sweat drop, the whole thing. You're fucked.
You're fucked, and not to mention, I'm like, nothing there. Like, that ain't helped me either.
Right. And then they hand you a check for $375,000, and you're like, okay, thank you.
Yeah, and I ate like a prince, and so I get out of there. I get off stage. I give it back to the head guy. I run downstairs. You know, it's that feeling of like trauma. You're like, oh, you're shaking. You're weird. You're fucked up. And I just get an Uber, and I look at my watch. It's 10:30. I went way too long because they started late.
Right.
They started like a half hour late or 40 minutes late. It's 10:30. So I get in my Uber, and the phone is just going, "Where the fuck are you? This is the guy who runs the club. This is the manager. This is the waiter. This is the agent. This is the manager. Whatever. This is the opener."
Oh, this is giving me like heartburn and asshole.
And
burn.
apparently, getting out of Toronto downtown is like getting out of D.C. It's all wiggly, windy. There's a million lights. It's Thursday night. Everybody's out. And I'm just telling everybody, stall, don't like the feature. So poor Sean Murphy must have done an hour and a half. I show up.
For the audience. Jesus.
I know. Poor bastards.
By the way, I think Murphy's hilarious. I feel bad. This is like 2 weeks in a row. You were like Murphy, and I was like, oof.
Murphy's the man.
Hilarious.
Killer
Great
comic.
guy.
Good
very,
egg.
very funny.
Handsome. But I get to the bar. I run right in. It's a great room, this Toronto comedy bar, and everybody's super nice. And the guy's like, "Come on, come on, come on!" And then they light him, and they always do that. "You cool to go right up?" I'm like, "Yeah, whatever. I've been through the gulag back there." So I go up, and it's the hottest crowd of all time.
Oh, thank Christ. Well, those are your people.
That's my people.
All the people were there. They weren't at the other thing. These corporate events, I said I'm doing one in a couple months. I'm dreading it. It's like you want to just be like, just send me the money and play my tape.
I know.
Play the video.
But your video's online for free.
Right. Good point.
Yeah, it's tough because they're picturing you in there going, and I'll tell you that the duck fell out of his bag, and they all go, "Ah," and high five and hug, and they blow the other guy. They blow the guy who hired you.
You know what it's like? It's almost like, because they don't realize when they see video of you or hear audio, it's in the most ideal situation. You're at the comedy store.
Yes.
So then they think they can take you out of that and put you in any situation. It's almost like taking, Pedro Martinez, watching him pitch, and be like, I'm starting an underwater baseball league. Will you come? And then you're like, how come you're only throwing 4 miles an hour? And it goes right to the ground.
That's good. That's a good analogy.
Because I'm not in the right atmosphere.
Yes.
Not a great analogy, but it's something.
It's something. It's kind of like if you took Conor McGregor and just put him in a Walmart and just go, "Do your thing," and he's like, "Bah!"
Yeah,
he's just
you're the
beating the
doorman
shit out of
now.
people, and then everybody's like, "What the fuck's up with this guy?" And you're like, "No, he's great at this." But it's the wrong setting.
Dubs in the chat.
Bad setting, bad setup, and bad punchline. So I even heard from the guy. I ran out of there.
Oh,
and
just
he
me and you
wasted a lot of money
guys.
on me, I
So
guess,
just
but you
send
wanna
me a
just go,
message.
oh shit! At one point, that was a big slam.
That was bad.
That was a grand slam.
When I went to the bathroom, his door was like.
Probably gonna play some games in a bit there.
Leave a door open.
I know.
So, but you want to go because the guy before I was eating all the free food, I was putting it down. I was wolfing penne, and he goes, "So I hear you're doing a Netflix soon." I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Are we gonna get some of that?" And I was like, "I'll do the whole thing if you want." And he's like, "Oh shit!" And now I have no faith in the Netflix. But
you already shot that.
I shot it, but you want to just go, now watch that later when it comes out, please.
Yes, of course.
Because this isn't all on me. Some of it's on me because I should have gone off book and just riffed with them.
Right, I guess.
But yeah, I don't know what to do, but I hope the check clears, and I hope the guy doesn't hate me, and I'm not allowed in Toronto.
Well, I think these corporate gigs, what they should do, they should rent out a club. They have money. They're corporations. Go rent comedy bar.
That's not bad.
And do the show there. It would still be tricky. Because anytime you're performing to a group of one group, it's difficult. That's the great thing about comedy. Is like you have to mix the groups. It's the same as if you ever did a show. I mean, I know you have. But like when we used to do shows where it's like in a function hall and everybody's with their group.
Yeah.
It's like the Campbell family's here, the Jones family's here. You have to mix.
Yeah.
Because that way you're making like 12 individual tables laugh.
Exactly.
You're trying to make one company laugh.
You know, it would be ideal, but they'll never do this because it doesn't behoove them. But what if they did a corporate and then I got to tweet about it and give me like 30% of my people?
There you go.
We're cooking.
That's not bad. But then they're like, now I'm feeding your fans.
Exactly.
I got a $300 steak over here for, Steve Guggen.
I would take half the money and pay for their tickets. That's how brutal those bombs are.
Yeah.
Because as I always say, I think I've said this before. I don't remember.
Probably.
But as I always say, you can see them sitting there going, this guy's bad. This guy is really bad. You know?
It's the worst feeling. You just want to say, I'm good. I swear to God.
Swear to God. And then you start doing the shit where you go, I did that on Tonight Show, fuck you. And now you're getting angry at them, and they're like, well, I'm not laughing. Why is that my fault?
I feel that way upstairs at the stand all the time.
Yes.
In that room. You just want to be like, here's my 401k, here's my resume, this is my Tonight Show.
Exactly.
I don't have a 401k, but I don't know what that is.
I don't either.
I think that's when your job sends some of the money to a retirement, right? Did I understand that right?
Or it's 401 kills.
You work for a company, and then they take a piece of your money and they put it in a big work thing, and everyone gains interest together.
And then you sit on it and get a lot of money when you're old.
I think that you could do a 401k yourself right now, though. I don't think
you can do it.
Yeah, you can just do it yourself. Like you can go to your tax guy and be like, "Let's pay into my 401k."
Oh, so what is it then?
I think it's a nest egg or an investment for later.
Yeah, I have a SEP IRA. What's that?
That's similar, but I think that's less. 401, I think, is millions.
Oh,
so you're in a non-million investment, which is fine. That's still better than 99% of the country.
Right.
So you're a 1%er.
There you go. All right, I'll take it.
There you go. 2% milk.
Well,
but
it's weird that when you have, sorry, not to go off on a rail, but the country's got 375 million people. So 1% of that is like 3 million people, right? Yeah. Well, so there's like, you think of the 1%, you kind of think of like 12 guys.
Oh,
but it's like 3.7 million people are in the 1%.
There's a lot of 1%ers.
Yeah, I was looking this up last night, actually.
Weird.
It is weird.
Yeah.
It's between 3 and 4 million is 1%.
Yeah.
And I always think that you travel, and I've talked about this before too, but you always travel, you see all the houseboats.
Oh,
in
yeah.
Seattle,
They're
you
out
see,
there.
like, there's just yachts everywhere you go. There's just huge yachts. You're like, this is a lot of fucking wealthy people.
Oh, yeah.
But it's 3 million.
Totally. And even if you're in downtown L.A. or whatever the fuck, maybe not downtown L.A., that's zombie land. But if you're in Santa Monica driving around, that's not considered, Beverly Hills. It's still millions of dollars. These homes are millions and millions, and everything has gone up. Silver Lake, you can't get a home for less than $2 million now.
Oh, L.A., a house the size of this fucking studio is $7 million.
Yeah, it's crazy. Same with New York, Brooklyn. I'm trying to buy. It's a nightmare.
Yeah, we're all fucked.
Last night I looked up the median income for the U.S. What do you think it is?
It's got to be low.
54,000.
38.
$70,784.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Isn't that way higher than you expected?
Yeah.
It is high. Well, also, the 1% is lower. It's weird. Like, 1% is like 200 grand a year. It's not like $1 billion.
That's true, yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, but if you live in Youngstown, Ohio, or Sioux Falls, South Dakota, you make a $70K, you're doing all right.
Oh, yeah. I don't think they make $70K. Unless they're, like, working from home at a whatever.
401K.
I think the highest medium income is Massachusetts.
Oh, wow.
It said something like that, yeah.
Okay.
Like that, yeah.
That's a shocker.
I think so, yeah.
I always thought, like, Maryland, Connecticut, I always thought were, like, the wealthiest
Oh,
states.
Connecticut, yeah. That's a big one.
Well, Connecticut, though, it's like a lot of people don't live there. They just have houses there, or they pay taxes there instead of paying up the east or whatever.
Smart.
I always think that, like, that's like I was talking about last week when I had the breakfast on the Upper East. You're like, $60 for breakfast, but the people that live on the Upper East Side make $375,000 an hour.
Right.
So they're just like, yeah, $60 for breakfast. What do you want from me?
I know, but it's still bad news because you're like, we have to have some semblance of a medium price for breakfast.
We're living in a society.
Yeah, like I can go to a diner and get eggs for $8 and a pancake and a Coke and a whatever and a coffee and a hash brown, and then you go up here and it's 60. So you're like, what are we doing here?
By the way, even the people living in the middle of the country are like $8 for eggs.
Oh yeah,
you go to
true.
Wyoming, it's like $1.50 for an egg.
Yeah, I remember Costa. What's that guy's name? Michael Costa. Good egg, MK. He was always like $18 for the smoothie. This is not normal. And we were all like, yeah, it's New York. And he's like, no, don't brush this off. This is insane. He's like, I don't want to live here.
Well, there's a lot of normalized shit. I mean, this is turning into like a crazy podcast. I mean,
Hello.
You walk out and there's like tent city. You go to D.C., there's tent cities in the
Maybe I do
capital of
gotta turn it
America.
down a bit.
This is
Okay, hello,
okay?
hello,
It's
hello.
like, wow, it's crazy. Yeah, you're like, we're supposed to be the wealthiest
That's probably a little
country
better.
of all time.
Well, we are in some parts. But then the other thing is you bring up the tent city and people go, easy, 1% right-wing KKK. I'm like, I'm just noticing that REI has got a setup out here. It's bananas.
I'm like, can we maybe do something? Take care of something? I don't know. Whatever.
Well, this is the last thing I'll say. I don't want to Normandize, but remember during COVID, we
know what he's gonna say.
We housed. Elephant never forgets. We housed all these people. And then when COVID ended, we let them go. And you're like, oh, so we could do it.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Well, Houston's, I mean, this is just off the rail, but Houston, they fixed homeless because they just built a bunch of buildings. But we have all these zoning laws. In Texas, it's lawless. So like a cowboy comes in with a 10-gallon hat and 3 rifles, or what do you even call these, revolvers.
Pistol.
And he goes, build a goddamn house over there so we don't have these goddamn sons of bitches laying in the street. And they build it, and they go, this guy's a hero. And he goes, 10-4, adios, or whatever, galley goo. But in New York, it's a bunch of queefs and skinny hats and jeans and whatever.
Skinny hat even.
And they go, well, we can't build over there because you need red tape and the other thing.
Right. I hate red tape. Give me a duct tape or a masking.
It's all pipes, Jerry. So I don't know what's what, but they shut down the hospitals, and now we got dogs and cats sleeping together.
Mass hysteria.
It's no good.
All right, well.
We gotta move. I'm moving. I'm packing up, and I'm moving. I'm going to New Jersey.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with living in Jersey, Connecticut. Fuck it. Go nuts.
Yeah, I want a big house, a big apple pie, green grass, stars, and then,
What's wrong with that?
I'll drive 2.5 hours to do a set at the stand.
That's the problem, though, is like, I know a couple guys who are like, I'm moving to Philly. Fuck, this is crazy. I'm like, Philly, I'll never see you again. I'm like, it's an hour and 20. I'll come in every day. Haven't seen him since. That was 1988.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it's scary.
Yeah.
But you get older, you want to live. Well, this is what I have. I'm always
Herpes.
like, I want to move. You remember that? I want to move I want to move to New Jersey. I want a house and a driveway and I go to the beach. Then you start thinking about the ins and outs, packing up my stuff and leaving my kick-ass apartment with all my neighbors, and you're like, I can't do it.
You got it pretty good up there.
I got it pretty good. I got Ron on above me, clomping around. I got Steve and Caitlin. I got Chavone right around the corner. I got Grove 34 as a stroll.
Hotbed of comedy activity.
Which, thanks for hitting me up when you did it.
Sorry.
Right down the street.
I got hit up by so many queefs that I was just like, I'm blocking the doors. I'm batting down the hatches.
I thought we were close. 4 blocks away.
We were close.
Unbelievable.
Very close proximity.
I was off, too. I had people over. I had 3-4 people in the backyard.
I did the set. I went home. I didn't even hang.
Well, that's a little hurtful.
I'm sorry.
I'm always saying, hey, I'm at the cellar.
That's
you at
true.
home?
That's true.
And you go, no, I don't care for your company. That's all right.
I prefer the company of Ben.
Well, I got other friends. No big whoop.
I don't remember anything.
Yeah, you forgot my number. But
yeah.
But anyways, I gotta move.
Well,
this is big time. This is a big thing coming here. I got a big story.
Okay.
We got time. How much time we got? What time are we at?
We're at like 46.
Whoa.
Okay.
We're flying.
Well, I got a couple stories.
Please.
But first, I gotta hit you with the big news.
The big news.
Big news.
No news is good news.
I have to move soon because I need another bedroom for my son.
Shut the fuck up.
My son, Jerry.
What are you adopting? A dog?
My wife's got a big nut in her, a half a baby. Her tits
Get
are huge.
the fuck out of here.
I'm not kidding.
Who knocked?
I'm not kidding.
Shut up.
I've been sitting on this for a long time.
They went to the doctors in the last episode. The ovaries.
I was at the doctor
every 10
today.
seconds.
I was at the doctor today. I saw a hand, a foot, the whole thing. He's waving. He's crawling around.
You're an abortion king.
October 29th, new list coming at you.
I don't believe
Are you
it. No
blown?
way. No way.
Are you blown?
I don't believe it.
He's
I don't
blown.
believe it. I'm not going to blow because I don't buy it.
I'll show you a photo.
Oh my God.
Wait till you see the
All
photo.
right, let's
I've been
load
here
some
38 years.
games
I
up.
never want kids. I'll flush it down the toilet. I'll throw my wife down the stairs. Kids are the worst.
Look at that guy.
What the fuck is going on here?
Let me see this. This can't be real.
Is that something? I don't want it on the camera. The lawyer's gonna fuck us. We're gonna get fired. Don't show it.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This is insane.
Is this wild? This is the Kennedy assassination. It's Pearl Harbor. Did he knock?
No, I heard a slam.
Jeez.
Is that Doug Key's kid? What's going on here? Did you steal a photo?
Well, we've been trying for years. Years,
What?
Jerry. We lost. That's why she was at the wedding. It's all out there now. It's all pipes. She's blowing up. She's got a fat ass, huge tits. My father's gay. She couldn't come to the wedding.
What the fuck?
We've had like 3 of them. They die on the vine, these kids. We had to do some IVF, some needles, and some haze, and some science. This baby costs more than you got for that corporate gig, I'll tell you that.
Wow.
It's wild. So I got to pack up. I got to move to New Jersey. I'm never going to see you guys again.
Wait a minute. You're keeping it.
A keep? He's got his foot sticking out. Are you kidding? He's got a cock the size of my father's.
You've told me you never want kids, and I thought she never wanted kids.
Well, she always wanted kids. I didn't want kids back in the day, but then Alan BetterHelp.com.
Yeah, I can't believe you saved this. Do we have 11 seconds left?
No, we got 14 minutes.
Yeah. 14 minutes. This doesn't even cover the knocking
Okay,
up.
so
We'll be over this in 90 seconds. We'll be moving on to something else. We'll be at Chipotle talking about cancel culture. Are you kidding?
I already forgot what we're talking about.
It's a big deal, big hoof, big whoop. June 6th, she's doing.
This is unreal. I'm speechless.
Blown?
I'm blown. I'm beyond blown.
I've been sitting on this for 3 years.
I'm eating out. I'm anal.
Well, before, you'd have it, she was pregnant. She was pregnant a bunch of different times.
Wow.
7, 8 times. But she's 95 years old, so you got to do some science. We got to get in the lab and really cook up some stuff.
You hear about Rosebud?
I got 144.
We've been going through it together. The whole thing.
It warms up. Is it gonna change maybe?
But she did the in vitro, whatever, metriosis, whatever Greek guy, and it didn't take.
Oh,
and then they ended up banging, and she got pregnant just randomly.
I know. I think that's the way it works because you get all juiced up. I know about 9 people that have done this in vitro business.
This is I'm blown.
Then they have a kid, then they fuck, and they get a second kid right on top of the other kid. It's wild. It's wild, Jerry.
Father's Day is coming up.
I know. I'm going to be a father. A father, Jerry. Blame Alan.
I always say to be a great dad, and I'm proud of you. I'm excited. I'm blown.
Well, by the way, you better get your lady's eggs frozen or get to work because it ticks away. How old is she?
She's 31.
Oh, okay, that's young.
Yeah,
35, I think.
You get their
just goes
tard.
right down. She's 31.
Yeah, not bad. Huh?
I thought she was 50.
Yeah, well, she smoked. But
I'm kidding. By the way, she was pregnant last time we played cornhole. What do you call it? Pickleball. I felt terrible.
Wow.
She was eating shit. I wanted to be like, she's got a baby in her. She can't breathe.
Yeah, well, you gave her the pickle.
I had to text you guys and be like, I'm sorry, my wife was a little off. But that's why she couldn't come to the wedding because she had to be down there. They had to look at her pussy to see if it's opening.
Wow, I could have done that.
Yeah,
all right.
It was a whole thing.
Holy moly, this is beyond big. This is the biggest break of all time on this pod.
Big ep. We just came from there. We had the hand and the thing, and then $60 for breakfast. I said, I'm pregnant, you piece of shit. I kicked him out of the store.
Wow, prego.
I'm terrified.
Bun in the oven.
I'm terrified. I got no money. Join the Patreon now, please, for God's sake.
Send in baby clothes, a crib, and a rattle.
Yeah, we'll register for the Tuesday.
Yes. Oh my God. So, talk me through it. I mean, how'd she convince you? Because everything kids are stupid. I hate kids. I'll kill a kid. I like pedophiles. Give it to me.
Well, we got to delete every episode of the podcast ever when this kid comes out because I can't be at a playground with this.
No,
that's the pedophile guy. Or whatever.
You're not allowed near the swings.
Well, of course, I've always loved.
It's hitching or something.
But what happens with your family growing up? For me, I don't want to get too deep here and dark. But your family, all I've ever been taught or shown is like kids ruin your life.
Yes.
You get divorced. Everyone's divorced. You have no money. You have no freedom. You don't get to go to the bar. You don't get to travel. My life is ruined. We shouldn't have had you. Boy, it was a sacrifice. Everyone's miserable.
Yes.
And then you talk to people, Alan or Dave Walsh, shout out, who are like
Derek.
They're like, it's the best thing that ever happened. What are you talking about? They're like, it's the greatest joy ever. And what are you, crazy? You love kids. You're a kid. You're a big child.
Yes.
So then you go, oh, right. I was just fucked up from my family going, well, we don't get to do anything. We got a kid. So then you go, no, you just do it. You just do all the things you want to do. So
wow.
You know, you go, maybe we'll do that. So then we started doing it. And this was back in like 2019.
What? Jeez, I feel like since then you've said, kids.
I don't know that I have.
I don't remember.
I'll save it for off the podcast. I was going to ask you about this. I suspected.
You suspect for a long time. Stop it.
How did you? I felt nothing.
Over the past couple of years, I don't want to do the podcast.
Why is it hitching so bad?
Well, you know.
Time crunch. But congratulations.
Thank you. Very excited.
I know you don't like touching, but I have to do a touch. I mean, this is, as a friend, I'm overwhelmed. I'm joyful. I'm I'm beaming.
Well, you got to come over and see the kid.
I can't wait.
And lend me money and really help out if you could. Help with the mortgage. I'm scared to death, by the way. These young kids, the whippersnappers with the TikToks.
I know.
AI is going to fuck us all.
It's terrifying.
AI, 300 million jobs in the next 10 years going to go away. Everyone's addicted to their phones. My father's gay.
It's the best time to be alive and the worst time. You know, it's like we have all these great resources and everything, but it's also like suicide, depression, anxiety,
Pitching like
crazy,
dude.
It's all this horrible shit.
It's scary. And the ticket sales, Jerry, they text you. They go, they got 11 tickets sold. I'm like, I got a son and a mortgage and my father and the insurance and every doctor's visit, by the way, is $5,000.
Of course. I got to hook you up with Seinfeld. He's got some big advice.
Oh, please, I'll take it.
Because he's like, I get it. It's scary. We're comedians. He's like, I went through it. Here's everything you need to know. He's got a booklet on this shit. So
it's interesting. A lot of these people, too, are hilarious. They'll be like, it's the best.
All right.
They're like, you're going to love it. I'm with my son Monday through Wednesday. Then my wife takes him. And I'm like, I don't think it's going to be like that. Not for a couple of years anyway.
We're not divorced yet.
People love to say that.
Jeez,
I know.
That's
I've
no
had 4
good.
different guys be like, it's awesome. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Then the weekends, you're free. And I'm like, well, that's not...
Yeah.
Not trying to do that.
But people make it work. Big J, Gomez, the whole Skanks have kids, and they're all like 31 by now.
Ooh, if Mark has a kid, Little Gays can really happen with real kids.
Little Gays. There you go.
Yeah.